was it? That had been when an artist seeking patronage had illustrated a family history, ending with a picture, supposedly, of Lynn's mother and offspring, a little sequence of diminishing, facially identical figures. Lynn had complained bitterly that she was already taller than Isile's third daughter and been told that's not the way pictures are made. She was smaller under the artist's hand because she was less important. Fourth is less than third. She had given their tutor ulcers for half a short season after that, insisting that 4 was smaller than 3 when made to do her sums. The tower of Nirgoth Elder, last of the ancients, was built into the mountainside. It had no sign of join or masonry. Some grand magic had just excised a great deal of the stone until all that was left was the tower, jutting from the new line of the mountainside, overhanging a chasm reaching for the sky. The day had been crystal clear when she'd gone on her unauthorized jaunt all those seasons before, and she had good eyes. The image had stayed with her ever since. Now she was looking on it again. Quite possibly she was standing just where her younger self had halted, though her memory didn't quite preserve that much. It was evening, rather than yesteryear's bright midday, but the skies remained clear. According to the few communities that lived in the foothills, the skies over the mountain were often clear, even when rain came in from the sea to trouble everywhere else. If you were the greatest sorcerer in the world, then you probably got to say whether or not you got rained on, she decided. Assuming Nirgoth still dwelled in his tower, as the legend said. He was very old, after all. He had been very old a long time ago. Even if he had not died, why should he not have travelled to some other land, or some netherworld that only wizards could access, or some other fate, bespoke to the magical, that Lynnesse's fourth daughter could not even imagine? "Just going to stand there, then?" her companion asked. "It's me making camp again, is it?" Lynn was aware that, yes, it was entirely her right to demand that Escher do all the camping and cooking and the rest of it, because Lynn was royalty and Escher was not. Simultaneously, she had only secured Escher Freemark's help on this journey by explicitly promising she wouldn't act a pampered ass. "I'm sure it's my turn," she said vaguely, eyes still upwards. "Do you think he's watching us?" Escher squinted balefully up towards the tower, but her eyes were bad at that kind of distance. The tower was just like a little toy to Lynn. Likely Escher couldn't make it out at all. "He hasn't magicked us up to his front door yet," she pointed out. "Disrespect to the Princess of the Blood, if you ask me. Disrespect to my aching feet, too. The road to the tower of Nirgoth Elder is long and hard, because he decreed it so," Lynn recited, "that it not be trodden lightly by fools, but only by earnest heroes when the kingdom is threatened by dire sorcery. I would have magicked up a bell or something, and I'd just turn up out of nowhere when it was rung," Escher pointed out. "That way nobody would have to do all this uphill nonsense." Escher was of the coast people, who fell outside Lynnesse's strict reach and maintained a tenuous independence along the sea's edge and the banks of rivers and lakes. An independence bought with cartloads of fish and defended by the general difficulty of the terrain. Hard to subjugate a people who could just go into the water at a moment's notice and then come out of it with spears and poisoned darts when you least wanted them to. Her skin was pale, like most of her people, greenish-white and heavily freckled, with blue about the bridge of her nose and cheekbones. She had a hard, square chin, and her straw-coloured hair had obviously been trimmed with the aid of a bowl. She was shorter than Lynn, compact of frame, wearing a wayfarer's layers of wax cloth and weft, with a cuirass of hard scales over it all in case of trouble. Escher was a traveller, for all her complaints about the uphill nonsense. She was 2 full storm seasons Lynn's senior, without actually seeming much older. Lynn remembered her turning up at court at random intervals with her traveller's tales and outlandish souvenirs, and only later worked out that much of Escher Freemark's journeying had been clandestine errands for the throne. That hard-won suffix attached to her name was the crown's guarantee of her right to go where she wanted without exception, and there were precious few foreigners who'd earned it. Except, as Lynn grew up, the political landscape of Lynesse had grown more intricate, locked into a